All right, so are you ready for the top five movies of 2007 now?
Yes,
All right.
ready to go. We're ready to go.
All right, let's do it. I think you went first last time, so I'll start us off.
Okay.
At number five, this is definitely going to be one that you have a reaction to. It's a comedy and it is Knocked Up. Have you seen this movie?
Well, I have never seen that movie.
Ah, man, it's a cute one because it's somewhat of a romantic comedy about I think the actress's name is Katherine Heigl. She was in a lot of romantic comedies around that time.
Yeah, I know her.
Yeah, she gets knocked up by Seth Rogen, which is like a one night stand that occurs, and she's way out of his league, obviously. And that's kind of the gist of the movie is like, how do they deal with this? Do they become a boyfriend and girlfriend, first of all? And like, is he going to be uh, a good father? And he plays essentially himself. He's like a pot smoking uh, young guy with no direction in life, and she's an executive. I guess she interviews famous people or whatever, but there's a lot of other good people in it. Paul Rudd, um, uh, I can't remember the other people's names, but Jason Segel and Jonah Hill, before they were known, they play like his friends and stuff. But it's a really cute movie that um, has a lot of ridiculous, funny stuff. But
Yeah, I think I saw it, but I vaguely remember it.
okay,
I remember the title.
yeah, yeah, that stands out. So, what's your number five?
My number five is the number one grossing film that year.
Okay,
960 million.
yeah, is it a Harry Potter movie?
No, it's your favorite movie.
Favorite
But
movie?
it's the movie that your ex-wife, when she came out of the theater, was telling everybody it was horrible and not to go in.
Well, now I'm confused. Is it Twilight?
No, it's Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End.
I don't know how you remember that because I don't. But yeah, okay, that makes sense. That's the really long one. This is the
Yeah,
third one,
that's the
right?
really long one. And
Yeah,
the thing that makes it long is, like him like pulling the ship in the desert or something.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And then, the body of souls going by and stuff like that. So I
right.
mean, they could have cut some stuff, but if you remember from the last one, at the end,
Yeah.
Sparrow gets swallowed by the
Was it a whale or something? I don't remember.
no, the Kraken.
Right, right. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
he gets swallowed by it. So now the movie is he's in Davy Jones' locker.
Yes, right.
Okay, so that's the whole thing with him pulling the thing. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. I just
okay,
remember, yeah, I agreed that it was way too long. Like it had so many endings, it felt like, of this movie where it could
there
have
was
ended like 10
there,
times.
there were so many subplots and
Yes.
so many uh, different treasons
Mm-hmm.
among the group. The main group.
Right.
Like where Jack Sparrow uh, makes a deal with the Chinese guy, and uh, and so he gives him Elizabeth, as in the meantime and stuff to let uh, Johnny Depp go free.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
there's all these other things. But the thing was like really dark in the beginning. I don't know if you remember, but they were uh, exterminating all the pirates, and there was
Right.
a group of pirates, and they were singing "Hoist the Colors,"
Okay.
and it was like even children that were being hanged as you know, being prepared to be
Yeah.
hanged as they were
Yeah,
singing.
those movies get pretty dark in parts, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
For Disney
But
related material.
but
Yeah.
the whole gist of the movie was Davy Jones's heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, so somebody had to, in order to kill Davy Jones, you had to kill his heart.
Right,
So it was
right.
all these people were going after the heart,
Yeah.
and then they had that big parlay at the end.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and this is the one where Keith Richards shows up, right?
he
Yeah,
turns
okay.
out to be uh,
Sparrow's father,
Sparrow's father, right?
which
And
makes sense, yeah.
and Sparrow was the king of the Atlantic. They
Mm-hmm.
had like 5 different kings: King of the Pacific, and he was
Right,
king of the Atlantic. So
right.
now they had to get this whole group of the pirate kings together
Yes.
in order to uh, do the thing with the heart,
Right, right.
with thing. And Will finally stabs the heart. I know, it's
Yeah.
like all
Yeah.
this stuff is going on.
Yeah, it's way too much stuff,
Yeah,
man.
I mean, it's hard to even, you know, talk about the movie
Right.
without telling you the whole movie plot.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
Well,
the but at the end it has like a little sad ending.
right. Yeah.
Then you had to go through the credits to see the thing at the end.
Right. So even more torture.
Yeah, but all the Marvel, well, you don't like the Marvel movies anyway. But all
Right.
the Marvel movies, yeah, there's always a clip at the end after the
Yeah, I
credits.
know, I know. Oh boy, I can't wait till we get into the Marvel stuff. But
Yeah, that's coming.
I
But
know, coming soon. So all right. That's I see why you picked it. So
yeah, but
my
it was what,
yeah.
believe it or not, it was probably one of their better ones because it tied the whole thing together and it ended the trilogy.
Yeah, yeah.
But did
Thank
it
God.
end the series? No.
Of course not. Just getting started, man. So my number 4, it has no trilogy, and I don't see how it could. It's another. This comedy is ridiculous, and you would hate this one if you've seen it. It's called Hot Rod, and it stars Andy Samberg, and I think he may have written it. Probably, it's him and
I
his
don't even
friends.
know who he is.
Okay. He's from Saturday Night Live, and he's the star of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, if you've ever seen that show. But
Never heard of it.
okay, all right. Well, that makes sense. Well, he plays a stunt man or a wannabe stunt man he thinks he's taking after his father, and it's ridiculous the things that happen to him as a stunt man. He's not good at it, and let's see, it has Bill Hader, Danny McBride, um, Sissy Spacek plays his mother, actually, which I was like, how did they get her in this?
I
But
know.
there's just it's just one of those movies where there almost could be no plot because it's
They must
just
have paid her a lot of money to be in that movie. Either
I'm
that or
sure.
she's really hard up.
Yeah, but there's a lot of quotable scenes. I love my quotes.
Yeah, it's like,
There's Will Arnett plays this like jerky boyfriend of the girl that the other Andy Samberg is interested in, and there's this one scene where she starts walking away from him, and he starts going, "Babe, no, wait, babe." And the scene like goes on for I think 2 minutes of him just saying, "Babe, wait, no, babe, wait, babe, no." It's just the dumbest thing of all time, but I love it, man. It cracks me up every time, and that pretty much tells you all you need to know about this movie.
all right, another wacky comedy
Yes,
loved by J4.
that's right. Which probably won't make the combined top 5, but it's okay. So what's your number
Well, of
four?
course not. The fives and fours never do.
I know, I know. We'll see if we have something in common on this one. We may not. What's your four?
My number four is Gone, Baby Gone.
Ah, I don't think I've seen this one. Is this Ben Affleck?
Yes, directed by Ben Affleck.
Yeah, I missed this one somehow.
Again, I guess playing a little nepotism since Casey was in the movie
Okay, yeah,
in
his
in
brother.
a starring role.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman was in it. Ed
Uh-huh.
Harris was in it. Uh, and, Michelle Monaghan. My friend Titus Welliver was in it
Okay. I don't know who he is.
from the Bosch series.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, you've mentioned that.
yeah. Amy Madigan.
Okay. So a lot of cool people. Isn't this like a bank robbery kind of movie or?
No, actually, it's a child abduction movie.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember the previews.
and it's in takes place in Boston. A lot of Boston accents
Of
running through the
course.
state.
If
Yeah,
Ben Affleck made it, yeah.
yeah, right.
Okay. That's cool.
Okay, so this 4-year-old disappears out of her house while her mother was at a bar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so uh, the
Wait, no, she wasn't at a bar. She was at a bar.
bar, yes, thank you. She was at a bar.
Yes.
Uh, so uh, the grandparents
Mm-hmm.
hired two private detectives to
Okay.
help solve the case because
Yeah.
they didn't think the police were doing that well. And Morgan Freeman plays the captain of the police department.
Okay.
So now they're working hand in hand with two police detectives to
Okay.
try to solve this mystery. There's a lot of twists and turns into this thing.
Yeah.
At one point, they thought the child was dead.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Which
don't
turned
give it
out,
away.
no, I'm not.
All right. Well, yeah, cool. I may have to add that one to my list.
Yeah,
It sounds
this was a
interesting.
really good one.
All right, cool.
Actually, this year there was a lot of crime movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, yeah, my number three technically is a bit of a crime movie. And it probably sounds like didn't make your list based on our pre-discussion, but it's No Country for Old Men.
Yes, I would have thought you had it ranked higher.
Yeah, no, it's I've only seen it a couple of times, and it does get better each time I see it. The first time I saw it, I was kind of like you, like, what was that? By the like, because the ending of the movie is so weird, like trying to be,
Yes, the movie is so weird, and
yeah,
it just like I don't know, it just leaves.
it seems so open ended,
I
but
know, almost like they were going to do a sequel to the thing, and
yeah,
how they
yeah.
would do a sequel, I have no idea. But
Yeah, watch it again though, because the second time I saw it, like knowing what's going to happen already, I actually now kind of like how they leave it so up for interpretation at the end, like especially what happens to the villain of the movie. It just gives you the impression that maybe his luck is running out, whereas in some other movies they would have gunned him down or whatever for sure.
Yeah, I mean
But
the only good thing I liked about the villain was his murder weapon.
oh God, yeah, that was crazy. The cattle thing, where they were,
Yeah,
that was really,
the
yeah,
nail gun thing.
yeah, yeah. Where he also shoots the lock out of the
Yeah,
doorknob.
use it to shoot the locks. Yeah,
But yeah, so
uh,
much suspense, like that scene where he knows he's got the tracking device and he's waiting in the hotel room and you can hear the beeping coming down the hallway. Like that's some great action suspense stuff in that movie. you have a little bit of everything. Like there's even some dark comedy in this movie, just the way that the main lead characters talk to each other. Oh, one of my favorite lines too is the mother-in-law when they're going to Texas, and she's like, "You know how many friends I have in Texas? This many." and, and there's some just funny stuff, but it gets really dark as well. Like that. I can't remember the actor's name that plays Anton Sugar, the bad guy, the villain, but he's amazing in that. I think he was nominated for best supporting actor, but he's like one of the best villains of all time. He's just so relentless.
Yeah, I think he got the Oscar too.
I think you're right. Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
mean, the only thing for me was the ending. It was
yeah,
like everything was going good until
mhm.
the ending.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and
Like
even
Tommy
with,
Lee Jones telling his
yeah, I was gonna
dream or
say, and
whatever. Yeah.
even with Tommy Lee Jones, like the statement that he makes at the end makes no sense to me
Yeah,
whatsoever.
you really have to like read into it and really make your own interpretation about his dream, to have any idea of like, okay, does that sum up the movie, or does that just again leave this very open-ended? But it kind of makes more sense, the more times you see it and you realize there's a lot about fate and destiny, like just the whole thing with the guy flipping a coin every time he kills somebody, and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it makes it a very kind of scary movie, even more than it really is when you start thinking about that kind of stuff. But yeah, I dig it. Just not that as high on my list. So what's your number three?
My number three, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
Damn you.
the
Harry,
number,
wait,
the
it's Harry
number,
Potter and who and what now? Where
and
did
the
you say?
Order of the Phoenix.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Panda Express, and I was like,
No,
oh,
no,
that
no.
that's some big product placement there.
Yeah, the second highest grossing film of the year,
Of
nine hundred
course.
and forty-one million dollars.
Okay. I'm
All
just
right.
thankful this wasn't as high up this time.
Well, wasn't that high up the last time?
Well, okay. Yeah.
The good ones are coming. This is mainly setting up
All right. Okay.
the big finale, type thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Okay,
can't wait for a year that Harry Potter, Marvel, and Star Wars all align in one for you. That's going to be like the
I know,
trifecta.
and if they can bring back another Lord of the Rings thing,
Yes, exactly.
that would
That'll
be
be your whole top five almost.
top five. Yeah, definitely, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, so the usual people are in here again.
Yes.
Danny Radcliffe, Emma Watson,
Mhm.
Robert Pattinson is in it also. He was in
Okay.
the old one. Gary Oldman, Alan Ruckman, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
So now they're like about 16.
Yes.
Because
Okay.
now Harry has a girlfriend,
Okay.
Chinese chick.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but right from the beginning of the movies, he gets in trouble with the magic council because he defends himself using magic and he's underage. So that's why I figure it's like he's about 16.
Yeah.
He,
Yeah.
he looks grown up. But anyway,
Okay.
so the head of the magic people send in a person to teach the magic defense, and she decides not to do it, and she's like being horrible to all the students and stuff.
Yeah.
So and they don't believe that Voldemort has come back, and he's like out there somewhere causing harm and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole thing now is Voldemort wants something, some sort of object, and now they're trying to figure it out. And because they're not teaching defensive magic, Harry takes it upon himself to teach defensive magic to some of the students.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. So now at the end, when Harry has the object in his possession, all of a sudden the bad guys appear.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the bad witches. They try to take away from him. So now the students are fighting the bad guys. And just when Harry gives up the object to the bad guys, now the good guys come in, the good witches, and they're fighting back and forth.
All right.
I'm not going to say, what the results are at the end.
Okay. I kind of zoned out there for a second, but I got the gist of it.
You have to watch them. You haven't. We're not playing Rubik's Cube when you come down. You're going to be watching Harry Potter.
That's going to be your strategy, to throw me up like, oh, look at what Harry Potter's doing, and then do your little Rummy Cube moves. Yeah. Okay. We'll have a marathon. All right. So very good. All right. So my number 2, you're going to really hate, because it's a Wes Anderson movie. Yes. And it is the Darjeeling Limited.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably didn't see it. This it takes place in India in this movie.
Is Murray in this one too?
He's in it only for like 2 minutes maximum.
Yeah, that's probably why. Not a biggie.
Yeah, the stars of this are Owen Wilson, Jason Schwartzman, and Adrian Brody. They play 3 brothers that are going on a trip on a train which is the Darjeeling Limited that goes through India, and they're on this kind of spiritual quest kind of thing to reunite with one another, and also end up reuniting with their mother, who lives somewhere, I think in Tibet or something, played by Angelica Houston. And their father had died not long ago. So like all good Wes Anderson movies, there's this family drama and family issues that they're trying to get through. But then at the same time, they really are figuring out kind of their purpose. And there's a part where they help some people in India, which is really cool. And there's actually, it's a little bit more of a deeper Wes Anderson movie than most, but of course it has the usual just bizarre comedy throughout. And Owen Wilson is especially good in this. He's like all bandaged up throughout the movie because he got in some crazy hinted at suicidal kind of tragic accident. But yeah, it's a good one that you'll probably never see. So
yeah, I don't know. I just zoned down on that.
Touche, man. So what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Zodiac.
That's my honorable mention.
Is it really? Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr., Mark Ruffalo, Anthony Edwards, Brian Cox.
Great cast, yeah.
Yeah, it was a great cast. So, so this is about a serial killer in the San Francisco area. And it starts like in the early 70s. Mm-hmm. And this is based on a true story.
Yep. And they never caught him.
Well, yes, they never did, allegedly.
Right.
Yes. But so, he sends like these cryptic messages that the newspapers have to decipher and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so this cartoonist that works for the newspaper,
Gyllenhaal,
starts investigating it with Robert Downey Jr., who plays the newspaper man that talks about the stories in the newspaper.
Right.
And Downey was a little wacky in this thing too.
Yeah, he mumbles a lot in this one. It's hard to make out what he says.
Yeah, he wasn't Jack Sparrow in this movie. Well, that's not him anyway. I just remembered. Yeah, so the whole thing is the chase, trying to figure out who it is.
Right.
And they think they know who it is, and then it turns out it's not. Then they think it's another guy, and the thing is, because the murders happen in the San Francisco area in different towns.
Right.
Now the police departments in those different towns have to like coordinate the information and what's going on and stuff like that.
Yeah, and years pass, and then it's like it becomes really like an obsession, especially for the Jake Gyllenhaal character, where his wife leaves him, and
because the police departments give up.
Right.
The cop that was really investigating it thoroughly.
Yeah. Mark Ruffalo.
He gets kicked off the case.
Right.
So Jake keeps trying to figure out like who it is.
Yeah.
And
by the end of the movie, like the audience is like Gyllenhaal, pretty certain of who it is.
Right.
It seemed pretty obvious.
Yeah, I mean they had everything down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they had almost caught him like way earlier in the movie too. But red tape and whatnot got in the way.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
ridiculous. But great movie. That it's a long run time, but it doesn't feel like it because
it's like it goes quick because of all the twists and turns in the movie.
Yeah, you as an audience member also become obsessed with figuring it out, kind of.
Yeah, right.
So
they didn't like give you a sheet with the code so you could try to figure it out.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But David Fincher, man, that's probably in his top 5 best movies, and that's saying something. So good pick. All right, so I'm curious as to what your number 1 is. Mine is another one like No Country for Old Men that was nominated for Best Picture. I believe No Country is the one that won, but this one did not, and that is There Will Be Blood.
Yeah, I know. I had problems with that
movie. Yeah. No, it's also kind of a weird one in that it's really more of just a character study on the main character, Daniel Plainview, who's a horrible guy.
I know. It's like he's actually deranged.
Yeah, by the end of it, basically, he's like an old washed up alcoholic who has no, like, he even writes off his son, who he calls a bastard in a basket or whatever, and then he has the final confrontation with the preacher played by Paul Dano, who he's equally deranged in the movie. So it's essentially like they're the two main characters, and they're both these kind of grifter people that just take advantage of people in different ways. One is oil industry, the other is religion, and the movie's sort of a metaphor on those things, I guess. But Paul Thomas Anderson, man, I think it's one of his best movies. And Daniel Day-Lewis, of course, and yet another vehicle for him to be this like ridiculous force of nature in the movie. Like when he's going through the scene where he's supposedly getting baptized, and he's like, I abandoned my boy. It works on so many levels because you can tell like he's not really giving himself into this thing, but then at the same time he does feel emotional because he really did abandon his kid.
Right, and he's also pissed that he was coerced into the baptism.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so
he does later on gets revenge for that.
Of course, yes.
But what is with the slapping in the movie? I mean, was there a clause that he couldn't punch people? He's like
Yeah.
slapping people.
Yeah. Well, that may be it, because from what I understand, Daniel Day-Lewis, gets into character where he's one of those method actors where he's always in character, and like the person who played Paul Dano's character before quit the movie because he was so afraid of Daniel Day-Lewis, because he didn't know what he was going to do at any given point. And supposedly, like, Paul Dano, one of the first days on set was one of those scenes where he gets slapped around and he's putting him in the oil, and all of that, like, he had no idea what Day-Lewis was going to do up until the moment. So yeah, I guess Day-Lewis was like, maybe I'll go easy on him. Instead of punching him, I'll just slap him around. Insane. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get the ending either. It was like,
right.
To me, it left again, it wasn't like a finished ending. It's
even though he says I'm finished at the end. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's like, it makes you feel like, what the hell did I just watch? But then
I know.
It's another one of these movies, though, the more times I see it, especially with all the quotable lines with the I drink your milkshake and all the crazy stuff he says, it gets more and more entertaining, and it still leaves it kind of like okay at the end, kind of open for interpretation, but it's a proper ending for this like horrible human being, really.
Yeah, I know, but it's
how else could it end, really?
Like somebody coming in and shooting them or something. To me, it would be a good ending.
Yeah, well, I mean, really, what's a better comeuppance for him? That, or him just like living out the end of his years in complete misery, and I'm sure he's just got to feel
I think it was in complete misery the whole time.
Yeah, pretty much. That's true.
But the thing is, it was like when he spoke, when he was making deals, his voice was so calm.
Right. Yeah. And he had the whole thing like using his son almost like a pawn. Yeah.
Yeah, a prop.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like,
this is my son, HW. Yeah.
This business, and I can,
Right. Yeah. He's just totally about the business and nothing else. So it's a good like cautionary tale, I suppose, about greed and other things as well. But yeah. All right. So what's your number one?
The Bourne Ultimatum.
Ah, okay.
That
makes sense.
Yeah, now it makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't go with that just because I didn't want to overdo the whole trilogy thing. But yeah, that was a good one, though.
Yeah, actually, a lot of people consider it to be the best one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it kind of ties up the whole conspiracy.
Yeah, he learns out more about him. He learns out what his real name was. He learns out, what his date of birth was. But the big thing that he learned too was Operation Blackbriar was an extension of or an upgrade to the project that he was involved in with Treadstone.
Right. Yes.
And, probably like the best action scenes were the one when he was with the girl that, worked for the CIA, for the agency that he had contact with in the other two movies. Right. So he knew her. And then a team was sent out to kill them both. And he had like all this like running through the buildings and running on top of the buildings, trying to eliminate the people that were out to kill him and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then they had the motorcycle chase scene too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
They always have
yeah.
awesome chase
So
scenes.
yeah, so I mean, it was a lot of action scenes, uh, closure on the trilogy.
Right. Yep. I'm listening. I was just going ahead and getting scores so
I know
we
I'm
can speed
watching
ahead here.
it.
Yeah, yeah. It's we can watch each other now that we're split screen. So
I'll tell you ahead of time that what you call it, Let There Be Blood would be number one. Born
yes,
would be
it
number
has a 4.4 actually. I'm surprised it's that
yeah.
high. But Born
Zodiac,
Ultimatum will be 2 then.
right?
So then now it's between Zodiac, which is a 4.0.
I know, and I think you might get that one too with the second one.
I don't know. I don't think Darjeeling is going to be that high. Yeah, it's only a 3.7. So you got Zodiac at 3 and Darjeeling is going to be 4. So now I have a feeling, okay, Harry Potter is a 3.6.
Right, and it should be a 4 point something.
Yeah,
Oh man,
yep, I think you're right. I'm sure it is if it's highly revered. Yeah, it's a 4.3. So No
yeah,
Country gets in there. Okay. Pretty
yeah.
cool.
Those were the two highly acclaimed movies that
Yeah.
year.
And I don't always go with the highly acclaimed, but for these, I don't know what it is, but at first I was kind of like you with the initial reaction, and then through the years I've gotten to like them better. So
Yeah,
what?
I just couldn't rank them or even put them on my thing because of
Yeah,
the endings, basically.
right. Yeah, I hear you. Well, what was your honorable mention?
What was yours? You went first.
Mine was Zodiac.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I forgot.
Yeah,
Uh, One of my all-time favorites,
yeah.
uh, National Treasure Book of Secrets.
Ah, yes. Okay.
The
Nick
second one.
Cage. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
So
Cool.
the same people in it, uh, Nicolas Cage, John Voight, Helen Mirren,
Hmm.
Diane Kruger. Ed Harris plays the bad guy in
Right.
this one.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, he kidnaps the president to try to get information out of the president's secret book,
Right. Right.
to find this treasure of the city of gold.
You always love a good conspiracy.
I love conspiracy movies, and
Yes.
I like puzzle movies. So
Right.
this is like another puzzle movie. And actually, they have to. His mother plays Helen Mirren, and she uh, can decipher like different languages and stuff, and they need her to decipher, you know, this language,
Right. Yeah.
to give them the thing. And in the meantime, Harris is bugging them, so he knows automatically what's going on and stuff like that.
Right. Right.
But they had this fun scene when they were I think it was in Paris now. It was in Britain where they were in the museum, and
Hmm.
he was with his ex-wife, and they staged this whole fight thing so they could get arrested and then escape and be able to find this piece of wood
Yeah.
that they
Right.
need.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Well, I'm pretty impressed with our top 5 this year. I think a lot of people would think it's pretty strong by looking at it, but let's read it off. The top
yeah. Wait, before you
5.
do that,
Yeah.
I have a list of honorable mentions because there was a lot of good movies.
I figured.
Believe it, believe it or not, that we didn't even talk about.
Okay.
300. That
Uh-huh.
was the movie about Sparta.
Right.
Uh, the Transformers, their first movie.
Okay.
Their first two movies were good.
Yeah.
I think because that chick was in it, I can't remember her name. But when they took her out of the movies and the third one,
Yes.
that was it.
Right.
Spider-Man 3,
Okay.
which I never saw, but
Okay.
I Am Legend.
Okay. That was a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Assassination of Jesse James and the
Mm-hmm.
Coward Robert,
One of the
whatever.
longest titles ever. Yeah.
Yeah, also had the longest title that year, being out No Country for Old Men.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Clayton.
Oh,
Ocean,
that's a good one.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ocean 13, and Mr. Brooks. That's another like weird, demented.
Yeah. Michael Clayton almost made my honorable mention, but I had to give it to Zodiac. So, yeah, good stuff that year.
Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff. It was hard doing the list this year.
Always is, man.
I know.
All right. So, the top 5 best movies, according to 3 and 4 of 2007. At number 5, No Country for Old Men. At number 4, The Darjeeling Limited. At number 3, Zodiac. At number 2, The Bourne Ultimatum. And at number 1, There Will Be Blood. Yeah. So we actually had none in common that year.
Again,
Other than, unless you count Zodiac, since I had as an honorable
yeah,
mention.
because that is honorable mention. But yeah, I mean, we've been doing like 12 different movies basically.
Yeah,
and we
exactly.
still had stuff left over that we could have done.
Right. Yep. Yeah, with us having not completely different tastes in movies, but you not on subgenres, you're the puzzle and the conspiracy and high grossing blockbuster guy. And then on the other end, I'm the quirky comedies slash character study driven artsy guy.
Yeah, I'm just, because of the thing with the blockbusters with me is all the candy, all the CGI. That's what attracts me more. I mean, like with the Marvel movies coming up and stuff. I I I don't know if you ever saw them, and that's why you don't like it, or you just never saw them. Period. But there's a lot of little quips in it.
No, you'll see. Early, actually, in 2008, I probably will have a Marvel movie on my list. Like, it depends if I like the character is the main thing. Like CGI for me can go either way because sometimes I just think it's overkill to where it looks like a video game sometimes. Right.
But there's a lot of comedy in the Marvel movies too.
Yeah.
A lot of one-liners, especially with Robert Downey Jr.
Exactly.
He's playing what the hell is
Tony Stark, Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Yeah, I dig Iron Man. It's the stuff that starts getting kind of like with Pirates of the Caribbean, too many subplots, like too many characters to where it's like I can't even focus on what the hell the movie is at that point.
Yeah, they do a single character movie, and then then there's an adventure movie where they combine them all in there.
Which is cool. I mean, like that whole concept where they're creating the universe or whatever they say.
But then you see the relationship between them.
Right. Yeah.
Because at the end, they break off into two separate, teams and stuff later on.
Right. Well, this will be a discussion for near future movies.
Yes.
But
for years to come.
Yeah. Yes. Oh boy. Can't wait. All right.
You sure you want to finish it to the end?
Yes. Yeah, we have to now. We're so far in. Oh my God. All right. So next time, top 5 of 2008. We will see you there. It may be the new year at that point. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Love you.
Love you too.
All right. Bye.